Hello, I'm Franita Ware. I'm the author of Warm Demander Teachers, and welcome back, or if this is your first session, welcome to the Summer Book Club for Warm Demander Teachers and referencing points from the book. If you saw my last session, you know I talked about the importance of radical self-care, and I talked about water and water being so precious and being grateful to even have clean water. This time I'm going to talk about breath. Fortunately, our bodies will breathe without us. And by being aware of our breath and by controlling our breath, we send a signal to our brain that says, I'm safe. So during the day, I hope that when you feel stress or panic starting, that you'll pause and take a deep breath in and exhale slowly, especially exhaling longer than you inhale, because that tells your brain you're safe and helps to regulate your nervous system. And that's a really important talent and tool to be successful in schools. So this time, as you think about your radical self-care, think about ways to be aware of your breathing. Think about how your breathing can calm you. Think about how you can count your breaths as a way to relax you, and do a slight meditation on being calm and regulating your nervous system and being ready to be an excellent warm demander teacher. So today I'm talking about chapter 3 in the book. And in that chapter, I have some activities for you to consider cultural humility and how your identity is starting to be shaped as you consider the people around you. Cultural humility, and what I love about it, is it clearly identifies that there is no there. There is no certain number of workshops that you do or certain activities that you'll do, and then you'll be completely culturally competent and you never have to think about that again. You're just fixed some kind of way magically. And that doesn't really happen, because as humans we grow and we meet new people. And as lifelong learners, which warm demander teachers are, we learn new ideas and thoughts and interact with new people. And that's critical for our growth in terms of being inclusive to all of our students. And so warm demander teachers start with having cultural humility. And that means they get to know each student as individuals. Yes, we are always going to respond to the identity markers that our students show. And they are still much more complex than that. There's the intersectionality of gender and identity and race and all the things that happen in a child's life. And so to be a warm demander teacher, there is this intentional effort to lean in and get to know each student individually. The warm demander teacher understands that some students like to be praised publicly. Some students like to be praised privately. Some students won't feel comfortable answering the question initially, but if someone else starts the question or starts the answer, then they want to join in. And by getting to know each student and moving beyond just the surface of who they are, but getting to know the complexity of their brilliance and what they bring to the class and how they can help move the lesson along by being interactive with the teacher and being interactive with their other students in a respectful way. That's how we develop the students' brilliance. That's how we get to know what students already know, what needs to be added to what they know, and what they're excited about learning. So it starts with the cultural humility. First, it starts with radical self-care. It starts with being well every day. The warm demander teacher understands that there is something they should do, one small action consistently without perfection, to always focus on how they're growing their health, how they're addressing any type of health concerns that they have, and how they're just healing their bodies and their brains. It is a beautiful experience to engage in radical self-care, and it is the perfect preparation for becoming a warm demander teacher. That's why it's chapter 2 of the book. And so it's not something we ever get there. It's just like cultural humility. We never get there with radical self-care. As you grow and heal whatever parts of your physical health or brain health or emotional health that you need to address, your your brain heals and you start to expand, and so you will naturally say, okay, well, I got the water thing down pat. Now I want to move into breathing and being calm every day, or I want to, change the way I eat. That's just like cultural humility. There's no there. Warm demander teachers are truly lifelong learners. They are always working to improve themselves, and they understand it's not this big dramatic change, but it's a nice, simple, subtle change. Remember, the one small thing consistently without perfection. And radical self-care and the brain health that comes from it is the perfect precursor to cultural humility, because then teachers feel more comfortable getting to know their students. They move past any fears they might have about students or any biases that they've built in. And if they have a very strong held bias, one demander teachers understand the professionalism of having a classroom that is completely inclusive, and then on their own time they work on unpacking any biases or beliefs that are preventing them from being truly warm demander teachers. So thank you for joining me for chapter 3. Look for the next chapter. We're going to wrap these up pretty soon because it's almost the end of summer and you're going to be going back to school soon, and I want you to have the opportunity to have these nice introductions to each of the chapters before you start school. If you want to know anything about the work that I'm doing around the book and radical self-care and how you can grow, please feel free to reach out to me through my website. So thank you for joining me today. I hope you're having a lovely day and look forward to that next session on chapter 4.